For any subscription business, the real moment of truth isn't that first sale, it's the renewal. That's where you really prove your value. But as companies grow, keeping those customers can turn into this chaotic, unprofitable mess. So today, we're going to break down a powerful model designed to fix that, turning retention into your most efficient growth engine.
Okay, let's start with a number that might just blow your mind, 95%. What if I told you that by boosting customer retention by just 5%, you could jack up your profits by as much as 95%? Seriously, that's a finding from Bain & Company, and it just goes to show that retention isn't some small tweak. It is one of the most powerful growth levers you have.
So if retention is that valuable, why is it so ridiculously hard to get right? Why does it feel like the more you grow, the more renewals just seem to slip through your fingers? Well, the truth is, most companies are playing this high-stakes game on hard mode, and they don't even realize it.
Does any of this look familiar? Yeah, for way too many companies, this chaos is their daily reality. You've got customer success managers, your CSMs, who are just completely buried. Teams aren't talking to each other, and trying to forecast renewals feels like a shot in the dark. So instead of proactively building value, everybody's just running around putting out fires, trying to rescue accounts at the last minute.
A huge chunk of this problem comes down to a single, fundamentally flawed role that somehow became the industry standard. We've basically created a hero who is just destined to fail, the all-in-one CSM.
Right. So here's the core conflict we've accidentally baked into the system. We ask one person to be the customer's trusted advisor, their best friend, while also being the tough negotiator who has to talk about price increases. I mean, it's an impossible position. This doesn't just burn out your best people, it systematically destroys the very trust you need to grow in the first place.
So, how do we fix this thing? We do it by moving to a much smarter structure, one that's built on specialized roles. Let's call it the Guardian model, where each team has one crystal-clear mission to protect a critical part of your growth. First up, we have the Guardian of Value. This is the new laser-focused role for your customer success manager. They're now completely freed from that messy conflict of commercial negotiation, and their mission is singular and absolutely crucial. Their entire world, every single day, revolves around one thing: making sure the customer wins. They're driving adoption, they're watching that account health, they're tackling technical risks head-on. And here's the most important part: they are completely 100% removed from all money conversations. No price talks, no discounts. This is what sets them free to become a true, unbiased advocate for the customer. So, who handles the money, right? Well, that brings us to our second specialist, the Guardian of Revenue. This is your renewals manager, and their focus is just as sharp and just as clear.
This role owns the entire commercial side of the relationship. They own the forecasts, they lead all the negotiations, and they're strategically engaging with customers months before the contract is even up. This isn't just a part-time gig. They are the dedicated expert whose only job is to protect and secure your revenue.
And finally, there's a third, often forgotten player who makes sure this whole operation is actually sustainable. This is the Guardian of Margin, and that's your pricing team.
Think of this team as the strategic brain behind the whole commercial operation. They make sure that when the renewals team saves a customer, it's done profitably. They set the rules, the guidelines for discounts, so they are literally guarding the financial health and the margin of every single contract. Okay, so you've got three distinct roles. How do you make sure the customer has a seamless experience? How do these guardians work together without, dropping the ball? The secret is all in a really well-defined handoff.
The whole process breaks down into two clear phases. Phase 1 is all about prevention. This is led entirely by customer success, and it's all about delivering value. But the second the conversation shifts to money or contracts, we enter Phase 2. And at that point, leadership transitions cleanly over to the renewals manager.
Now, the secret sauce to making this actually work is having a set of clearly defined triggers. This isn't a vague, oh, maybe we should talk. No. The moment a customer asks for a discount or even hints at canceling or starts talking about budget problems, the playbook is clear. The Guardian of Revenue, the commercial expert, steps in to lead the conversation.
And this is so important. The CSM doesn't just vanish. They shift into a vital supporting role. They arm the renewals manager with all the context, all the proof of the value that's been delivered. This makes sure that even during a tough negotiation, the customer's success is still the main argument on the table.
So when you actually put this system into motion, the benefits you see, they're not small. They create what you could call a perfect wave of positive outcomes that lifts the entire business and builds a predictable, profitable growth engine.
First off, your customer success team is finally unleashed to do what they do best. Focus 100% on delivering value and building those deep, trusting relationships. All that internal conflict they felt, it's gone. And their effectiveness, it just skyrockets. At the same time, your renewals and pricing teams are working in perfect harmony. And together, they transform retention from just a number you track into a real profit center for the business, locking in renewals at healthy, sustainable margins.
And what's the ultimate result? Well, the entire system just becomes more efficient. Internal fighting drops, margins go up, and your revenue forecasts, they actually become predictable for a change. And this creates a stable, healthy customer base, which is the absolute perfect foundation for your expansion team to come in and drive all that upsell and cross-sell growth. It's that perfect wave.
So, as you think about your own organization, ask yourself this. Your people, they're already the guardians of your company's success, but have you actually given them the right roles to play? Have you built a system where they can truly win?